Marcellus Wiley with Emmanuel Acho strong today, brother.
Look, I try to be strong every day, you know what I'm saying? The least I can do is look good, Marcellus.
Well, let's just talk about today. You're strong today, not most days. And we are going to get it started with the Lakers, who clinched the #1 seed. They look strong in the West for the first time in 10 years last night. Anthony Davis was aggressive all night against the Jazz, scoring 42 points. LeBron James had 22, and after clinching the 1 seed, said, quote, "I'll enjoy this one." They said I couldn't do it. Check out what happens when LeBron's teams have the #1 seed. The first 2 times his squad didn't go all the way, but the last 2 times, his team won the finals. So Acho convinced LeBron gets his 4th ring after clinching the #1 seed.
Bro, I am convinced. And I'm convinced because what else do you need to do, LeBron, to convince me? What else does he need to do to convince you? It's crazy. It's crazy, Marcellus, because this what runs me hot. People talk about the LeBron and the Lakers like they're the 5th seed or like they're the 4th seed. Like, people talk about them without respect. And by people, I mean you. That's who I mean.
Where
when
you
I'm talking about people.
Where you at?
I look at the Lakers, bruh, since January 1st.
Okay.
2nd best record in the NBA. Right now, 2nd best record in the NBA. Best record in the West. Shooting the highest field goal percentage from the field. Allow the have the 2nd best defense in the NBA. When you look at every statistical metric, they are one of the top 2 teams. So clearly they will be vying for and I think convinced to get a ring. But then let's not look at the stats. Let's just look at the king. Because sometimes you have to look no further than simply looking at the king himself.
I'm looking at him.
When has LeBron, Marcellus, and you're a man who's lived a long time on this earth, so you can at least tell me the last 8 years, when has LeBron ever had rest, sir? When you go to 8 straight chips, you got a shortened off season. When you have a shortened off season, you have less time to recuperate. So when has LeBron ever had rest?
Never.
This time is the first time since, what was it, 2012 lockout season when they only played 66 games, in which, by the way, he got a title.
He did.
This is the first time that LeBron has really had some rest. So I am convinced, and if you really take the bias out of it, sir, if you take the bias out of it,
you go A-foul me.
You would be convinced as well.
Wow. Been working with you only like a month. You're already saying I'm biased. I don't do my damn job. I do my job. I put the bias to the side.
Do it,
and I talk objectively.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it right now.
Talk to me.
I disagree with you, homeboy. I disagree with you. How, Sway? How can they win the title? You keep telling me every metric supports that they're going to win.
Every metric.
They have the #1 seed. Okay. Well, let's just talk about this #1 seed position. Because over the last 15 seasons, more #2 seeds have been in the NBA Finals than #1 seeds. That doesn't help LeBron's case, does it? And who's the #2 seed in the West? Oh, why Clippers? Okay, but basically I'm saying this. Only 26% of the #1 seeds went on to win a championship. Is that a metric that supports LeBron being the #1 seed? No, it is not. It's worse than a coin flip. It's like the same odds you have against me in any debate. Like 26%. That's your chance of winning, buddy.
You're funny today.
But don't just use me because you say I'm biased. Let's use someone who gets a paycheck from the Lakers. Frank Vogel, who's been in the bubble with his team, coaching his team to a 2-1 record, and said, you know what, quote, our shooters haven't shown up. Ooh, I wonder if that's going to help LeBron and AD when he says our shooters haven't shown up. Before yesterday's game, this team, 25.8% from 3. Last time I checked, you have to hit the 3 ball to win in today's NBA. Is that true?
That is true.
Another metric that doesn't support LeBron. So I'm going to pass you the ball back before I get it back again and destroy you some more.
You know what's crazy, bruh?
Yes, sir.
When you started talking about all these metrics, more #2 seeds have made it than #1.
They right here.
All right, can we talk about LeBron's teams? So you're talking to me about teams that ain't got nothing to do with LeBron.
Am I cooking the books?
And you cooking all the books.
Cooking the books.
You're cooking all the books, bruh. But the problem is this debate, this conversation, this argument, this discussion is all about convince LeBron gets his 4th ring. So let's talk about LeBron, because when LeBron was the 1 seed in 15-16, he got that ring. When LeBron was the 1 seed in 12-13, he got that ring. Whenever LeBron has been seen to come into the playoffs healthy, when he comes in full force, he gets himself that chip. So I don't care, sir, about these other 2 seeds over the course of the last 15 years.
Okay.
Because, Marcellus, if you want to look at the course of the last 50 years, I'm sure you can find a statistical nugget that might support your fact. But don't let him do that to y'all at home, because you're not going to do that to me right here on this set. I look at LeBron, top 5 player left in the bubble. I look at AD, top 5 player left in the bubble. AD had his will. Whatever he wanted to do yesterday, he did. So, yeah, I am convinced, and I've been convinced.
Look, dog, you took me back to 2012, I think I heard you spit out.
I did. 12, 13.
You know you were a teenager then? And
Okay,
now
first off, I had to check. You know, I am young.
You're a teenager.
Check.
Boy, you barely turned 20. It was like your birthday, and you looking at LeBron win his chip, and you talking about, oh, that's what I'm going to use on the show one day. Dog, you a co-host now, man. Step your game up. Stay in the present tense right now. You're going so bad. So far back with this pass. Okay, look. Lakers don't have the depth necessary. We're going to get to that later with Tristan Thompson, a real champion, not just us arguing. Okay? Lakers, they have this collection plate roster. Like, you know, here you donations. You know, because they got LeBron and AD. We know they coming. But then after that, it's like, are the other guys even going to show up for church service on Sunday? Because they passing the plate around.
The collection plate,
and Caruso and Kuzma like, that's for you, bro. That's going to be an issue. We'll talk about that later. But let's talk about LeBron and AD, because that's the equation. Now, my Clippers do have a LeBron stopper or 2. You want to go there? No? Okay. Well, let's talk about this quote-unquote MVP this year, even though it's really Giannis. Let's put a full screen up of LeBron James versus everybody in the league, and then LeBron James against my Clippers. Oh, what had happened was LeBron James' scoring average goes down, assists go down, field goal percentage gets anemic, 3-point percentage is yours, Acho. And you're not winning at the same clip. So everyone wants to tell me LeBron can still do it. I know he can. He just can't do it against a team that has 2 LeBron stoppers.
What's his record against the Clippers? It's 2-2.
500.
Okay.
500. And we've had more guys missing those games against LeBron. No, I'm just reading.
Marcellus, the excuses, man.
Okay, one more, but it's not even going to be a full screen because it's not a full game that AD plays against the Clippers. You know what he has in the fourth quarters, 4 games combined point total?
Yeah, I think it's 8.
10. A dime. In 4 games. So what's going to happen? Here's the formula. I'm coaching against the Lakers. Let LeBron do what he does. It ain't going to be enough against us because he always is less against us. And then AD is going to go berserk for 3 quarters. And then that same team's going to get fatigued, pass around the collection plate, and ain't nobody going to be there to give it to him. Let's move on to the NFL, something Acho may know more about. Where the Bucs are the talk of the league after their offseason facelift. Tampa Bay added big-time talent with Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and LaShawn McCoy. And their NFC rivals, the Saints, have definitely noticed. New Orleans hosts the Bucs Week 1 on Fox, but the trash talk has already begun. Saints defensive end, the homie Cam Jordan, said about the Bucs, quote, they've got the second greatest quarterback of all time. I can't even read this. Right behind Drew Brees. What, Cam? And now we've got a head-to-head 2 times a year. We got our work cut out for us, and they have an addition. You bring in Rob Gronkowski and LaShawn McCoy. You already had 2 1,000-yard receivers in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. This is a team that's fighting for second place. Acho, think Brady will make Cam Jordan regret saying that?
Not at all. Cam is the type of man, Cam Jordan, that is going to back up his words. But Cam can go to this kind of fight because he's going to the fight with Drew Brees. Let's put some truth to these opinions. Drew Brees, the last 3 seasons, is actually the winningest quarterback in the NFL, 37-11. Even more wins than Tom Brady and his old Patriots.
Really?
The Buccaneers, sir.
Really?
36-12 in the last 3 years. I'm calling regular season. Don't start talking.
Oh, you know I'm he was going. So cross that out.
Cross that note out.
Okay.
Cross that note out. So when you go into the last 3 years, Drew Brees is better. Historically speaking, Drew Brees has the highest completion percentage in the last 3 years in the NFL. So Cam Jordan is going to this fight with the bad man and Drew Brees. But then look at the macro picture, rather. Let's look at it from a bird's eye view. What has kept Drew Brees and his Saints out from winning that dang thing? You got the PI that wasn't called.
Excuses.
You got the Minnesota Miracle from Case Keenum.
Excuses.
And then it took overtime to keep the Saints out of that joint. So when I talk about Drew Brees and I talk about Tom Brady. I don't think that Brady's going to roll in here and take ownership of a division that the Saints have already planted a flag the last 2 years and won it each of the last 3 years. Cam Newton, he's not going to regret them words. Not Tom Brady, 43-year-old Tom Brady. He's not going to make him regret them words.
Oh, my God.
Cam Jordan.
Oh, my God. First of all, Cam ain't going to regret anything because if you know Cam, you know it damn well. He kind of said it in jest, but he also will back it up.
Right.
He's going to get his in that game when they play against Tampa Bay. But that said, good Lord, everything you just said and everything Cam just said, we're going to put that on the sandwich. And the Bucs going to feed off of that. Week 1 against the New Orleans Saints. You talk about winning, and you know who's won more than Drew Brees. It's Tom Brady. How many rings Tom Brady has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, I need another finger. You got another finger? Anybody got another finger? Oh, it's on Drew Brees'. That one. It's just one. Drew Brees got one. Tom Brady that's just one hand, bro. I got another hand full over here. So if you look at this situation, no one in their life has ever said that Drew Brees is a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Right? Is that true? Facts? Yeah, facts. Okay. Drew Brees is damn good, amazing, great, but it's not going to be enough. Brady realized what he lost in New England. And now there's not a thing you can poke at in terms of what this team looks like on paper. Right now in the offseason, what I love about it is every team is 0-0, and every team is a paper champ in their mind. Cam, if you guys go out there and beat them like you did last year, but that was Jameis, not Tom Brady, fine. But you can't poke holes at a paper champion right now. Their roster is actually on paper better than the New Orleans Saints. Alvin Kamara last year, how did he look? Did he look as good or did he take a step back?
He had a down year.
Did Drew Brees look as good or did he have a slightly down year? Was there conversation of Drew Brees actually being benched? Do they have a $16.3 million backup? You got an expensive backup like that, there's a conversation about the transition, and it may come sooner than later.
Here's a problem, Marcellus. You didn't read the question thoroughly. The question, will Brady's Bucs make Cam Jordan regret his comments?
Yeah.
Brady's Bucs. The operative word there is Bucs, not just Brady. Because let's talk about these Bucs that Brady now has to quarterback. They were 29th in scoring defense last year, sir. What's Tom Brady going to do about that? Nothing. They were 30 in pass defense last year, sir. What's Tom Brady going to do about that? Nothing. Does Tom Brady backpedal? No, he doesn't. Does Tom Brady T-step? No, he doesn't. Does Tom Brady break on the ball? No, he doesn't. He throws the ball. They were 24th in rush offense last year, sir. What can Tom Brady necessarily do about that? No, not too much. Oh, but get this. See, because Tom Brady, he doesn't coach every position.
Oh, he doesn't?
Tom Brady, he doesn't coach discipline. They averaged 8.3 penalties a game last year, worst in the NFL. So does Brady's Bucs, will his Bucs make Cam Jordan regret the comments? His Buccaneers will not. Will Tom Brady have a good season? Maybe. Will he have a better season than he had last year based on this Bruce Arians offense? Likely. But will the Buccaneers as a whole make the Saints and Cam Jordan regret what he's saying? Nah, because Brady can't play defense. He can't play defense, coach.
Bucs, you said, boy, your daddy came out of you on that one. When that pastor, Bishop came out of Bucs, yes, yes, they will. First of all, when you get a GOAT on your team, imagine you playing basketball and you think you good, you all right. And then Michael Jordan say, I want to play with y'all. You're like, You get ignited mentally. Like, you get more than inspired. Wherever you thought 100% was, you try to push that to another level.
Old GOAT. This GOAT ain't bad like it used to go. Okay.
He just won a Super Bowl, 2 years ago? And he ain't bad? Whatever. Anyway, let's talk about how he can have impact, not only in your mind and inspiration, but also in terms of discipline. Because the GOAT's in the building. And he's the number one enforcer of the Patriot way, and he's going to bring that same mindset to Tampa Bay. Let's talk about how he can help the defense. You play defense in the NFL like your boy did. And what's the worst thing you can hear when you sitting there trying to get your Gatorade? Hey, sudden change, sudden change. You're sitting there like, sudden change for everyone at home. We're walking off the field. Offense has the ball. We expect them to at least get one first down, right? So you're sitting there. Coach got the clipboard. Back in our days, now they got the iPad, the tablets, whatever. And you're looking there. You're getting your Gatorade. You look at your boy. Hey, dog, third down. You got it. All right, boy. All right. So we sitting there chilling. All of a sudden you hear, from the crowd roar, sudden change. You know what that means? It's time for your butt to get up and play more defense. That fatigues the hell out of you, exhausts you. And then what happens then? You start looking at your quarterback a little sideways.
That's facts.
Right? Now, last year, they had a quarterback turning the ball over at a historic clip. This year, they're going to have one taking care of it at a historic level. It's going to be history in the making when you watch Tampa Bay play this year.
Let's talk about the Lakers, who clinched the #1 seed in the West last night behind a combined 64 points from AD and the King James. But the question remains, what about a third option? On LeBron's 3 title-winning teams, he's had great wingmen with D-Wade, Chris Bosh in Miami, and Kyrie and K-Love in Cleveland. Well, we're joined now by a man who was on the title team in Cleveland, my guy, box MMA analyst Tristan Thompson. Tristan, welcome back, my brother. I'm coming to you first, bro.
Please,
Are
Drew.
you concerned that LeBron and AD don't have enough help to win a title?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm not concerned at all. I mean, let's put it like this. You got AD and LeBron, top 5 players in the league. Hands down, no question about it.
No question.
But the thing that makes their team so special, they got guys with championship DNA. You got Danny Green, champion, with Toronto, with San Antonio. Play with greatness, knows how to play with greatness. Mind you, if you take it way back with Danny Green, when he was with the Spurs, he was the one that almost set the record for the most threes made in the game against the Heat. Also, Danny Green shows up when it's counted. Game 3 against the Warriors. What do you have? 18 points, all behind the arc. So you know that's one guy that's ready to play.
Check.
Now you also got Rondo, champion, point guard, floor general. And you know playoff Rondo, what he did to Portland a couple years back with AD, upset that 3 seed. Now you also got Dwight Howard, who's been in a lot of playoff games, who got playoff experience. And then you got my man, J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith, he knows. He's got championship DNA. At the end of the day, you cannot replace those kind of guys. Those guys know what it is. In the playoffs, coach is only going to play 8 guys. So those guys already know what it takes. And to be honest, they just got to have big moments. So I can speak off experience with the Cavaliers. When we lost, K-Love to a concussion against the Warriors, when we came back from 3-1, it was all of us as a group. It was Richard Jefferson. It was myself. It was Dellavedova. We all played a role to cover up that third star role. So I believe they got enough.
I don't believe anything you just said. But I love you, and I respect what you said, and I respect your resume. But boy, leave this one to me, big dog, because let me talk about the collection plate all-star.
Come on now, bring it.
Here he goes.
Here he goes. I call it, hey, they bench is the collection plate all-star. They just pass that plate around hoping somebody donate. Here we go. LeBron and AD, 2 of the top 5 players. Duh. But then they also got like 5 of the bottom 5 players. And they gonna actually count on a couple of them. And I'm gonna point out a couple of them. One is the homie, Kyle Kuzma. I gotta do my job though. I got kids to feed. So Kyle Kuzma is gonna be counted on to be their 3rd best player. By all the numbers, yeah, he is their 3rd best player. But I wanna put up a full screen and full love and respect to Colin Cowherd. As I was preparing for the show a couple of days ago, I saw this. The 3rd best players on NBA title teams. Look at these names. Chris Bosh, who was a #1 in Toronto before he joined to be a #3 in Miami. Kawhi Leonard, best player in the game right now. Draymond Green, who was a walking triple-double, it felt like at a time. But I'm not even going to count him. Let's go back to Kevin Love, guys that LeBron played with. Kevin Love was out there, 20 and 12? And then you look, Klay Thompson stopped playing Marcellus Wiley. Kyle Lowry, obviously, an all-star. And now we're going to count on Kyle Kuzma to be that guy. When Kyle Kuzma is going out there and averaging 12 and 4. His numbers are lesser. He's never been in that situation before. And then people are going to say, no, it's going to be a shared experience. He'll step up. Him and Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso, who we don't know how he's going to respond in this moment. Think about it. Everybody's like, there's no pressure. There's no home court advantage. Everyone's in the same bubble. He's not going to have to go on the road and play. He'll be fine. Except pressure is not about external factors. It's how you internalize the moment. The night before, Kyle Kuzma and Alex Caruso are going to be counted on in a do-or-die situation. You don't think it's going to be a sleepless night? I think it will. The collection plate all-stars are going to let the Lakers down.
Marcellus, let me tell you why you're wrong, my friend. Because Tristan had already preached a good gospel.
#1 in the West.
Thank you. But don't even worry about it, Tris. Don't even worry about it, Tris. I'm going to set him straight, bro.
I can't hear you.
Here's the first thing, Marcellus, that you're forgetting about. LeBron has the best #2 that he's had. That's the first thing. But I'm not going to go there because I'm not going to go there right now.
Dwayne Wade.
I'm not going to go there.
Dwayne Wade, one?
Look statistically.
Tristan,
first off.
admit it. Tristan, admit it.
But let me talk to you about the real facts, Marcellus, because what Tristan said is true. You don't never know who the real number 3 is going to show up and be. In Cleveland, when Tristan was there on the court and they won that chip, Tristan's so humble. That's what I like about him.
I do like that.
He forgot to mention the fact that my dog put up 15 and 16 in Game 6. Tristan did that. See, everybody talks about Kevin Love was that great wingman.
Don't ever forget.
But remember, he had a concussion. What did Kevin Love give you, Marcellus, when the Cavs won that chip? He gave you 8 and 6 in that. Is that what we're talking about? Is that what the Lakers are going to miss so desperately? 8 and 6? Because when they didn't have K-Love, when LeBron didn't have that number 3, guys like Tristan stepped up. Guys like Deli stepped up. So don't sit here and tell me that Danny Green can't step up. Don't sit here and tell me that Kuzma can't step up. We even seen Dion Waiters get buckets as of late. So you're really going to sit here, Marcellus, and build your entire argument. The entire foundation of the sense you're trying to make is around the 8 and 6 that Kevin Love gave when the Cavs won their chip. I'm not buying it because dudes like Tristan, who actually had 10 and 10 that time they won the chip, they step up, and I think dudes on the Lakers are going to step up as well.
Yeah, no, like you said, no, guys are going to step up. And the dark horse, I'm going to keep saying, is Dion Waiters. One thing about Dion, when he gets going, in the playoffs, it's all about matchups. You know, the team's in the game plan for LeBron and AD. And that's one thing for us when we're in the playoffs. Teams always match up for the top, you know, your top seeds and your best players. So for us, it's like, you know, the role players got to be ready to go. So guys like Dion, you see him get into the bucket like that. D. Waiters, Philly cheese. You know, when he gets going, he's one of the best scorers. You saw what he did with Miami against the Clippers, riled off 14 straight on the comeback. Like Dion, he's the type of player where he gets going, it's hard to stop him. Danny Green, like I said, Danny Green behind the arc. If he gets going, that's another guy that's going to bring havoc.
Another one.
They got so many guys. And another one. Even Dwight Howard, think about this. Dwight Howard, yes, you want to say yes. Dwight Howard, 20 and 10. We don't need that from Dwight right now to win a championship. If he comes in, checks it for JaVale, and gets 10, 8, and 2, that's going to change the whole momentum of the game.
That's it.
That's all we need. We don't need guys.
Tristan, Marcellus don't like facts, bro. Marcellus likes opinions. They don't like facts anymore.
Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love with a concussion. Which one's better, that duo or Alex Caruso and Kyle Kuzma? See, stop playing with me. Look, y'all keep talking about, the number 3 could go down and we can have a number 4. Their number 3 is not dependable, let alone you want to go deeper and go, as you said, darker into the dark horse category, where now you got firecrackers. And Tristan, you know this. Coaches, when they talk about their philosophy and culture, like dependability, reliability. They like predictability. They want to know you're going to be in the right place at the right time. They don't want LeBron doing this to J.R. Smith again. Like, hey, dog, what are you doing? Why are you calling timeout? Why are you running around with the ball? They don't need those moments. They don't need you to pop off here and there. They need a consistent excellence. And in this situation, consistent goodness would just help. But they don't have that. When you get out of the AD and LeBron category, you're going to look at who's in your way. And there's a term in sports they call traffic cop. You need someone to traffic cop the Los Angeles Clippers. That means basically redirect them.
How does always come back to the Clippers?
Because they're the number 2 seed.
We weren't even talking about the Clippers right now. He love the Clippers. We're talking about the Lakers.
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, I love them Clippers. All right, let me tell you this. I'm going to just tell you this real quick. The Clippers, you have to go back to the 80s with the Lakers and Celtics to find a team that has 2 tremendous top stars, dual players, two-way players, and then the collection of depth that they have. I don't know a team, unless we go way back, that is not only top-heavy, but also bottom-heavy like this. Tristan, any team as deep as the Clippers with those 2 cherries on top.
Tristan, I'm not going to let Marcellus take us back to the 80s because you and I weren't alive in the 80s. So I'm going to stay in the present.
No, I wasn't.
Okay?
91.
Thank you. I'm going to sit here and let Marcellus take us back when he was watching the NBA back in his heyday, back when he was watching the Black. No. Here's what you're forgetting, Marcellus. This is what kills me, bruh. LeBron right now is playing with a number 2, if you want to refer to AD as number 2, that's making LeBron better. See, that's what you're sleeping on, bro. You're forgetting the fact of LeBron, career high in assists. LeBron leads the NBA in assists. So LeBron is going to get to chill until it's time to kill. That's what LeBron's going to get to do, which we haven't seen him have the luxury of doing. But again, we've made such a big deal about this number 3. Even Bosch was giving you 12 and 7 when they won the chip as the number 3. K-Love was giving you 8 and 6 when they won the chip as the number 3. So, Marcellus, I can't sit here and listen to you say LeBron winning this crown is going to be dependent upon them having a number 3. That just don't make sense as a strong and valid argument.
Look, it really does. Look, once again, I got to coach against you. I just whipped you up in some football. I'm going to whip you up in some basketball.
Never saw such a thing.
Here we go. Okay. AD is going to go out there and ball out. He's going to have a great stat line. But against the Clippers, he doesn't show up in the fourth quarter. LeBron's going to be amazing because him and AD is a dynamic duo. But then LeBron is even less against the Clippers. The thing is, there's no other team. I'm not talking about Houston. I'm not talking about other teams out there that you're saying are going to get in the way. The usage rate of the Lakers duo is only coupled with the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, we know if Houston's duo is not fully charged, they have no chance, correct? We know the same thing about the Lakers. But there's one team that you don't know that about. Lou Williams will win you a game. Montrezl Harrell could take over a game. Is Kyle Kuzma really going to take over the game where he only has one game ever over 30 points? And then he always follows up his great games with, like, donuts, 4 points, missing in action. My point is there's no consistency to their plan B because they have no plan B. They have no wiggle room, and it's going to come back to haunt them.
I remember people saying the same thing. You sound like back in 2015 when we was playing the Chicago Bulls.
Take us back to the glory
You
days.
sound just like everybody on ESPN and Fox that's saying the same thing in 2015 when K-Love went down with the shoulders injury. They all said, you know, how is LeBron going to get past Chicago? They have Tibbs. They got Boozer. They got Noah. They have this. They got D. Rose. But then the Cavs only have, you know, Kyrie, Tristan, inexperienced. You got JR, who knows? You got Shum, no experience. Dellavedova, undrafted. They said all that stuff, and what we come up and do? Beat them 4-2 and end that whole dynasty. Because you know why? You cannot put a price tag on a leader, on a champion like LeBron. He is able to, the guys like you said, Kuzma, yes, he might have 12, but if he has an off night, KCP's gonna step up. That's what a real leader does. Brings the best out of all his teammates. Look at myself. Shoot, that's how I got paid. That's how I got paid. K-Love went down, and I started playing well, get a double-double, because even though I was averaging, 8 and 8 points, that's what you'd say. You'd be like, what, Tristan Thompson, 8 and 8 points, what's he gonna do? But guess what? When the opportunity arises, guys come ready to play. And that's something that we cannot predict. But one thing I know is that we got those guys, they got guys on their team with their backs against the wall, they're ready to go. Dion, South Philly, he gonna be ready to go. J.R. Smith got something to prove. Rondo got the boo-boo finger, he gonna be ready to go too. Like Dwight Howard, you got all these guys got something to prove. And like you said, that church collection plate, when I go to church, I gotta put the most money in, so that's a good tithes and offering when I come.
You be feeling that pressure to my eyeballs.
That's fact. Appreciate you. Marcellus off the free game, Tristan.
Let's head to Seattle, where Russell Wilson might get another offensive weapon. Wilson has lobbied to add Antonio Brown in the past, and the two even worked out together this offseason. Last week, we learned AB is facing an 8-game suspension. When asked about the possibility of signing AB, Pete Carroll called it a, quote, very complex situation, but added they'll see where it fits somewhere down the road. Joined now by our Fox NFL analyst, the one and only dehydrated LeVar Arrington. But Otto, I'm going to you first. Do the Seahawks owe it to Russell Wilson to take a shot on AB?
Absolutely they do. And most importantly, Pete Carroll owes it to Russell Wilson to take a shot on AB. When you think of Russell Wilson, first two visuals come to mind. Number one being Sierra, and number two being throwing an interception at the goal line to win the second pick. Like, when you think of Russ, you don't think of Russ hoisting the Super Bowl trophy in 2013, his first win, because his defense and that Legion of Boom, they carried Russell Wilson. Marshawn Lynch, that was a narrative. You don't think of Russell Wilson in this great way in which you should. People talk about Russell Wilson and his excellency, first ballot this, first ballot that, to the point where, Marcellus, I'm like, yo, did I miss some Super Bowls that Russell Wilson won along the way? Like, we talk about Russ like he's won 3, 4, or 5. But Russell Wilson, he ain't even ever won an MVP, nor got an MVP vote. Meanwhile, Lamar, Matty Ice, Cam, and Pat Mahomes got MVPs while Russell Wilson has been quarterbacking. But really, I look at it like this.
Coming for his neck.
Russell Wilson has thrown the most touchdown passes and receptions to Doug Baldwin, undrafted free agent, and another top 4 guy who has thrown touchdowns and receptions too, Jermaine Kearse, undrafted free agents. The Seahawks have never actually gone out of their way to give Russell Wilson true and legitimized help. So now that you have a dude in AB who can come in here and be a bona fide superstar, you're not banking on a guy to overachieve, but really AB just needs to achieve. They owe it to Russell Wilson desperately to give this man a shot at a real MVP and a shot at another chip so we can remember Russell Wilson for exactly what he is, which is elite.
Oh, my gosh, Acho. Come on, man.
Get him.
Absolutely not, Mr. Acho. And let me explain to you something.
Please,
sir. Let me learn you up real quick.
Learn you up.
we have this strange idea of what owing is connected to and representative of, okay? Everything that you just said in a fantasy world makes a whole bunch of sense. But in the real world of business, when you're speaking of the realities that are faced every single day by these franchises, it's the franchise's best issue or best interest that is always going to be represented. Not a player, not a coach, not anyone else that represents that brand except the owner, right? So to me, when I look at, do you owe Russell Wilson? I don't even have to go onto the football field and look at all of those things that you just stated. I don't have to go into a stat book. They don't owe him anything. And for what it's worth, what they owe is 401ks. They owe, disability, different things like that have been earned through his work. But to owe him a player, to owe him bringing a player to the table, I don't see it. I don't see it that way, and I don't think that they're looking at it that way. They'll do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks.
See, LeVar, you sound like, what's that old phrase? Don't cut off your nose to spite your face. See, that's what you're talking about right now, because in owing it to Russ, you really just owe it to yourself. Russell Wilson, he's the engine, he's the fuel that makes the whole car drive. Russell, he averages 33 tugs and only 7 picks the last 3 years on average. So if you give Russell Wilson fuel, the quarterback, the driver of the car, you're only giving your team the fuel. So it's not even so much a matter of do they specifically owe it to Russ. Russ is just a train conductor. Everybody in Seattle trying to see that joint choo-choo. So it's owing it to Russ, but also owing it to themselves. So I don't know. I understand the business and all the other jargon you were talking about, but this ain't a business 101 class, coach.
Nah.
We're talking about winning Super Bowls. Russ going to be the one to get you there.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, dude. I'm going to wait on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, please wait, man. Please wait for a second, man. Because if I'm Russell Wilson, I'm just sitting there. Even if I want to take LeVar's logic and run with it, which I don't want to go far, but let's go there.
Go there.
Say you're only looking out for the franchise's best interest.
That's
then
correct.
if I'm Russell Wilson, I say, well, then help me help you. Help me help you, baby. I can help you now. All you need to do is give me one. Look, I know you made me the highest paid player in the NFL. Thank you very much. But money doesn't buy everything. You know what I also need? I need one more weapon. I got 2 guys out there, Lockett, Metcalf. I love it. I need one more. Because if you look up at today's NFL, these guys are fully loaded over there. Now, I understand we haven't been drafted well. We're not good up front, offensively or defensively. But there's a way to compensate for that, which is going out there and giving me a weapon. So we've listened to Russell Wilson in his own way cry out for help. He said, hey, can we speed it up a little bit, kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs, and run an up-tempo offense, right, Pete? Pete said, nah, son. Then he was like, damn, well, can we throw the ball a little more than we run the ball? Why are we so run-dominant? That's so archaic back in your USC days. Can we do that, Pete? Nah, son. And it's crazy because Pete Carroll's philosophy is to compete. He got that philosophy and culture, and where everywhere he goes, everything he does is to compete. And now you're going to put your star prize player, highest paid player in a position where he can't fully compete. Makes no sense.
You know what I really appreciate about the two of you guys is that y'all sitting across from one another in the studio And that gives y'all the opportunity to build a different type of understanding and camaraderie for one another. I'm really appreciative of that. And as I come in on this satellite and address both of you and the outrageousness of the points that y'all are both trying to make, in reality, you guys are making great points. And to kind of tie it together, your points are misguided. They're misset. You're saying what I'm saying, all right? Yes, you have not set them correctly. All right?
Okay, they misset. Misset.
Yeah, you know, like when you're setting, so understanding the terminology, when you do concrete and you're going to make a walkway or make steps or different things like that, you got to set the boards up right. You got to do everything correctly, the measurements, all those things, so that it settles in correctly. You have taken your arguments and you have set them on some wicked, raggedy wood, okay? You make sense, but it's not cutting your face, cutting your nose to spite your face. It's not what you're saying, Marcellus, in terms of what can Pete Carroll do for USC. This is all geared towards making the Seattle Seahawks a better team. So you're framing it up the wrong way. You're saying it's owing this to Russell Wilson. Man. All this laughing y'all doing, all of these faces you're making. The point is, if they were to get Antonio Brown, the point would be to help the Seahawks, not to owe.
Are you still in Palm Springs? Yes or no?
Maybe.
It looks like somebody get LeVar. Hey, LeVar's in a cabana. Looks like you in a cabana right now, overheated, hydrated.
Y'all are changing and moving goalposts on me and making laughing make the people believe that I am not making a great discussion point here.
Talk about a hydration situation. This Friday, you need to be in the pool with me with that blue cup. The way you sound now. You sound
yes, sir. Okay.
Let's talk Big Ben Roethlisberger, who is back. According to the video the Steelers posted yesterday, Big Ben is throwing passes again after having season-ending elbow surgery nearly a year ago, and he appears to not be retiring anytime soon, saying today, quote, "I'm not saying I got 10 years left in me, but I still got a lot left to give, and I still want to win Lombardis." And yes, I said plural. Joined now again by LeVar, because he ain't going nowhere. But Marcellus, I'm coming to you. Which is more likely? Big Ben takes a step forward or a step back this season?
Oh, man, LeVar, that Ike Turner DUI video, boy, you reminded me a lot of that right now. That's the best video ever displayed on the internet. Oh, Big Ben's going to take a step forward, a big step forward, I think for a couple reasons. One, you're sitting there sideline with an elbow injury, and you look at your team and you think they're rudderless. You don't think that they really have much in terms of talent. And what can they do without you? You're the franchise quarterback. You're Big Ben. These suckers go out there and win 8 games. And in the new NFL playoff format, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be in the playoffs if they perform like they did last year. Think about that. That was a playoff team, basically, last year we witnessed. So now if you're Big Ben, you're like, oh, we do have a little more than I expected. Now the ego starts to talk, and the ego is challenged. Wait a minute, Big Ben, they look kind of good without you. What would they look like with you if you're fully healthy? And let's not forget, 2 years ago, we had a Big Ben out there throwing for over 5,100 yards and 34 touchdowns. So if he is healthy, not just in terms of where he's thinking upstairs, but the elbows back, and guys like Juju who are fully motivated, because Juju needs a big year. All that Fortnite and stuff, and all that smiling, that stuff's gone. It's time for him to step up to the challenge as well. I think Big Ben takes a step forward.
Marcellus, this one was too easy, my friend. You got sloppy. Late in the show, you got a little sloppy. You left your shoes untied, and you're about to trip and stumble over yourself because we had a Big Ben argument, and if y'all noticed, Marcellus tried to make it a Steelers argument. You know, Marcellus gave you those stats. 2018, led the league in touchdowns, 34. He didn't even lead the league. 234 touchdowns. You know what he led the league in? Gotcha. Interceptions.
No, don't say it.
In 2018, look at him. Big Ben, look at where he ranks in interceptions since 2015. with names like Jameis, Phillip Rivers. But you got to read the fine print, little asterisk at the bottom, and I can pronounce it now. Dude has missed 21 games. He's missed a season and a third, and is still top 4 in the league in interceptions since 2015. Big Ben might not just take one step back. My dog might take about 5 steps back.
Wow.
Because Juju, we still haven't seen him ball when he's a number 1 receiver. Last time Big Ben was on the field doing stuff, he had AB. You know that dude we talked about last segment that's still a dog? He had him on the field plus Juju. So I'm not buying the hype on Big Ben. Dude was contemplating retirement at age 35, at age 36. And now he's all in and he finna be 38. Marcellus, it don't make sense, coach.
Save this clip. Say this clip. Go, LeVar. Get him. Say this clip.
I actually tend to agree with Acho here, honestly.
You know you're wrong now, Acho.
That may perpetuate you taking shots at me for not being hydrated enough, but I agree. Really? Listen, let's be clear here. I'm not so sure that Big Ben outperforms the other 3 quarterbacks in the AFC North, including the baby in Cincinnati. So, and I think you're right on. You're spot on in saying that we have to see what Juju's going to bring to the table as the main guy, because, you know, in a season where he could have gone one way or the other with it, an injury cut it short, and we weren't able to really see how he would handle that role. I just don't know that with the bar as high as it has been for Ben Roethlisberger in his career, that he could actually come back and have the type of season where you're looking at what he's done in his previous years and say he's taken a step forward. I think it's kind of late in the game. He's hinted to wanting to retire at different times, at different points in his career. I just don't know that where he's at right now, they have the weapons and he has the current continuity built with those guys in Pittsburgh to have that type of a season where we would look at his body of work and say, at this point, he took a step forward.
Y'all made it easy to beat y'all in this argument, but I'm going to take it easy on you guys while I do the same thing and beat you in this argument. You just said that he's been in decline or the interceptions, whatever you want to use as your metric, to say that Big Ben's not been the same of late. So from him taking a step forward from that position, y'all comparing him to Big Ben of greatness. I'm comparing him to what we have seen the last few years, which is not the greatest thing. And then last year, watching him on the sideline, realized, is that Duck? What's his name? Duck Johnson? Some dude out there throwing a football well enough for us to go out there and win 8 games? Don't forget, this team is led by its defense. And then their running game, if James Conner could just stay healthy and just go out there and continue to tilt the rock, show what he showed when he first got in the league. That's how they're going to win this game with Big Ben. I'm not saying Big Ben of old when he's 31. And don't forget, they won a Super Bowl. Pulling the Big Ben wagon. Remember those days when they had bus and defense? We're kind of going back to those days, Steeler Nation.
Marcellus, let me ask you something. So your favorite sport, track and field, correct?
Yes, sir.
In high jump, after you clear the bar, they move it higher, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued as to why Marcellus has taken the bar, LeVar, and he conveniently moved it lower to say that I'm not saying Big Ben is going to beat Big Ben. He's just going to be on the lower bit.
Your Honor.
Move the bar higher.
All I know in track and field is you can have the high jump world record. They don't start there. They start at a level. They start at like high school level and you go 5'6", Fosbury flop, 6'6". Like they start low no matter what.
I'm with Acho on this one.
Damn it.
I'm with Acho
I ain't with that one. Damn it.
Sorry.
My dog.
Kind of upset. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. So we went to LeVar's IG account and think we have figured out why he is on one today. Appears to be having a good time with friend of the show, TJ Hushmanzada, looking fresh out with those matching camel shorts. I don't know what's going on. Uncle Jimmy, help us out. Uncle, what's your thoughts on LeVar today? What is going on?
Hey, man, you know, LeVar, what's that song you was playing in the background? I love them bartenders. They be serving them drinks. Because first of all, let me tell you something. If you take LeBron James and the Lakers, that's the foundation to what you need to do. You need the concrete pillar because it doesn't really make a swimming pool if there's not water in it. Okay, you guys can make fun of me about that if you want to, but I'm trying to tell you, if it wasn't for Ice Cube, there wouldn't be a movie. And I wouldn't be able to enjoy this drink right now.
Get him, Rudy Ray Moore. You know I'll fight back.
I'm
Dolomite in the down, jungle deep.
I I didn't get
The
this
Lakers came on with Petey Wheatstraw.
When was the last
Hey,
time?
that's it for us, man.